Let's see.
What it do, my people? What it do? You know what it is? It is time to get the jump off. It has been a long time since we've had a chance to have on a lovely guest. Recently, we've been using this space to record Creators Unstuck podcast, which Mary Lou and I just started. Yo, today, voice and talking, not normal. I'm having like mini stroke. I'm just saying the dumbest stuff recently. And so what we've been doing is we've been recording the podcast in this space and then chopping those up and putting them over on the Creators Unstuck YouTube channel, which we just started. I think we just made 50 subs. Yay! But this is funny. Long time coming. Jeff and I have seen each other in public like 10 times. And we're always like, yo, one of these days, Jeff, you got to come on the show. Yeah, you know me, dude, anytime. I'm like, all right, cool. And somehow it just never happened. Like, legit, I've been on his show like 3 times, I think. You just look at Twitter, you can tell, because Jeff posts my face on Twitter more than I post my face on Twitter. But I'm like, yo, we really got to get this figured out. So then last month, I was like, all right, we're going to get this done. And then what I do, I go to Atlanta. And I'm like, Jeff, we got to move. And then we're going to do it when I came back from Atlanta. And then Jeff had something to do. But whatever, it's finally done. And my man, Jeff, is here. What is up, Jeff? How are you doing?
Hey, man. How are you doing? This is going to be fun. Yeah, It's been a while. So we always have a good time when we're together.
Yeah, listen, people, if you have not found Jeff yet, first of all, you should. He's quite an amazing orator himself. Produces a show that comes on an hour and a half before I wake up. So I mostly get to see replays, unless he wakes my ass up at 4:30 to do it.
That's right. That is right.
Don't
Which I've done many
times. Doc, because I'm still catching my lungs back from this cold. But it is always a good show. Jeff brings value information, value-packed people. And one thing, I really want you to a minimum check out at least one episode. And here's why. You hear us talk about delivering value upfront all the time. I always say this, and I know, because back when I was first getting started, the one thing that would often escape the brain in the conversation is everybody keeps saying deliver value, but what does that mean? It's one of these things that's kind of hard to describe, because the value that you deliver talking about Texas barbecue is different from the value you deliver talking about the Texas Rangers, both baseball and police, right? It's different. So Jeff, his show is a fantastic example of what just like delivering constant value looks like. And so because you're going there to get information about what's going on in the social media landscape, you already know as a viewer what you come for, and you be like, oh, there's a nugget. Oh, there's a nugget. Oh, there's a nugget. And you'll understand what that means because you're getting it. So sometimes in order to understand how you can deliver it, you might need to go somewhere where you get it and recognize it when you get it. And then it'll make more sense. So I don't want to, that nebulous thing goes anywhere. Anything to say about that, Jeff? It was just an excuse for me to
I think that, you talk about doing value, and one is getting good guests. We're going to talk about repurposing today, I know, but one of the things that I think is really important, and you guys do it here and you do it on eCam's channel and all this stuff, is like being consistent. Like, I can't remember, I think it was Woody Allen that said like 80% of success is just showing up, right? So like I've been doing this show. I was doing Social Media Examiner stuff. I had done my show before, but then I started again. It's been 3 years, like over 3 years I've been doing this show, and it's always Friday at 10 a.m. Central, like all the time. Once in a while, like when I go to Creator Camp or something, I'll record one and we'll do it. But being consistent is huge, that people know that I'm on every week and not skipping. And I have guests. I have a lot of guests that go, hey, man, I can't do it that time. I got something. And I'm like, man, that's when my audience shows up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't, maybe we can record one earlier. But most for every guest, I just say, like, that's the time. If you can't make it, I am really sorry. But that's what we do. That's our time.
I like that confidence in knowing that this is your slot and you don't want to change it. Like, honestly, for me, this came up last week because I just come back from Japan. And then Paul is like, are you doing the flow? Absolutely. Why? I actually hate skipping. I completely
Hmm.
hate skipping because I know there's people that set their clock around the recordings of the show. And it's bad enough that just because I was so busy, I didn't have enough time to backfill for this show. And normally, what I do is when I'm going on a vacation or going to do a talk or something, I'll have Keely or Alec or Paul them somebody step in and do a show on this channel. I don't care what it is. It's still better than having to be blank. And you'll
Right.
notice this to be true. Going back to the sports motif, if for some reason a game gets canceled, right? Say the Rangers get rained out. They don't just turn off the TV for that 2.5 hours. They play
Right.
stupid infomercials
Right.
or
They do
really, really
something. Yeah.
old episodes of the Gossip Girl, something that they own, but they can't just play dead air. They have to backfill it
Right.
with something because you came to Channel 9 expecting to see something CBS related. And if it ain't there, you would probably be like, is my TV broke? Something wrong? Oh, the world's going to end. TV stopped because TV don't stop. Well, us old people
Right.
remember when it used to go, but
Hmm.
now it's on 24/7. And so it is better to backfill it with something. That's 100% true. Okay, so you have been on a terror for like the last year plus about AI repurposing. And prior to that, it was just about repurposing in general.
Right.
So I think this is something that I think people know they need to do, and they still struggle with where to start. And part of that has to do with there is a plethora of tools out there.
Mhm.
So yeah, what would you say, like somebody who is still step one? I'm sitting here at my table with a hard drive full of content. What do I do? El Jefe.
So so just to get my background, I have been doing video editing like since Premiere version 2. Like I remember the box, it had like a unicorn on. I mean, I remember it. Like I've been in video editing for a long time. So the tools now are fantastic. Like I would have killed for this stuff when I started way back in the day, back in with using the mini DV tapes,
Oh my
and even
God.
before that, other stuff. I got a whole
I
drawers
still
full of
I
those
still
things.
got some right here.
I know. I gotta. I got like my kid's birth on it and stuff. I gotta get it over. But the thing now, if you're just getting started, for me, everything starts with the transcript, right? And when we're talking about, repurposing, you have to have a pillar, what I call a pillar piece of content, right? Like it's either a live show, like what I do, or a podcast, or all, or you take the live show and make it a podcast. What you just have to have a pillar piece of content, whatever that is. And I love video because it just makes the most sense. Is you put it and get a transcript. Now, before there were some other ones like Otter and all sorts of stuff. Personally, what I have used and has changed everything, like the way I edit, the way I do my workflows, is Descript. I
Still.
love Descript. So yeah, the one thing that I do is as soon as Ecamm is done, and I remember when Ecamm got ISO tracks, like I went out and bought a new Mac because I needed to upgrade and it wouldn't work without Mac silicone. That because I was using vMix and trying to do because having individual tracks of like when we're done with the show, there's a track of Doc, there's a track of me, and whoever comes on the show. Having that separated for repurposing is a godsend. And I can do that with Descript. I can have multiple cameras, I can switch between them, and it's all text-based editing. So for me, Descript has changed everything, like everything. Um, we were repurposing before, but we're able to do it so much easier now with Descript. And that's kind of like that's the overview. Like everything is going through a filter of Descript. And we played with Opus Clips and we've done some of these other ones, Mivo and all those things. Um, but because of AI and where it is right now, it cuts my time like over a half of what I was doing. And one of the things I want to say, I've always been a big fan of repurposing, AI repurposing. It's still a tool, right? It's not, you cannot click and copy and paste. I don't know if it'll ever be there that way. I don't know if we ever want it to be that way, but it saves you so much time and think of it as a tool, not as this is a done for me kind of thing. And I think people right now see how easy it is to click a button in Opus Clip and just throw, what is it? Deidre calls it content vomit on,
Yeah.
on the socials. You know, don't do that. Like you want to stand out. You want to make your stuff look different. You want to like Doc has a signature look. He's not just throwing stuff and like, Hermosi's captions, everybody's using those. Like
Bro, I can't stand
that,
them.
and they're like, oh, I can just click this button and it looks just like Hermosi. No, you do your own thing. Most of these platforms now, if you have a fonts that you have licensed, make sure you license your fonts if you're using it for certain things. That you like for your branding, upload that and use that for your captions. Be different from other people, and you use AI to help you as a tool, kind of streamline that process.
They're so amazing. And you know, it's funny. In the beginning, like I was all in the Descript situation, and then I started using Opus a lot more. And at the time, I right when OpenAI kind of bought into Descript is about the time I kind of stopped using Descript. And then so I knew, and I said then, I go, not here yet, but eventually they're going to put all of their AI weight, because they invested a lot of money. They're going to put their weight into, and the AI chopping in Descript will get better. For whatever reason, I forgot why I stopped. It had anything to do with Descript being bad or not bad. I had to, for work, do something else, and so I was doing something else. And one of the things that definitely I noticed that with any of the AI editors is you still have to go in and do a little bit of tweaking. A lot of people don't get that. They really don't understand that. And all the other AI editors had to catch up to the editing part. The script was already editing and they added AI. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the gap is completely different. The thing that drove me nuts though, and I wonder if they fixed it yet, maybe as a person who does video podcasts first, I used to want to just, in the script, send just the audio track to Captivate. And what I had to do is render the whole thing out and then throw the video away and send it manually to Captivate. I couldn't ever tell it to just take the audio section only and send it to Captivate. And I told them at that time, Jay was there. Jay's no longer there.
Right.
And I was like, dude, give me an option to just send the audio to Captivate. Like, I don't want to have to render it, take it apart, make a new MP3 and then send it. It's just extra steps that didn't have to be there. So I don't know if they fixed that yet.
I don't know if they could do that. So, because I usually do video first, and then I just export it out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll tell you, a hack that I've been using with this AI. So they've got some new stuff. If you haven't been in there for a while, they've got it's version 6 now, and they have the thing called AI. They call it their AI Underlord, because Overlord is too scary. They call it the AI Underlord, and there's a button.
I remember that email campaign about a month and a half ago.
Yeah. And it's on the right side of the screen. And the cool thing is they have this thing where it's find clips. And one of the hacks that I use, because I use this for the podcast that I get paid to do, my clients, is a lot of times people want like a cold open. And that's like where it has at the beginning of the podcast has a really like something that Doc says that's really, really important. And then it goes straight to the opening music. And then you kind of have the intro and you go there. But that cold open, a lot of podcasts use that and like that. Well, I'm able to take and say, hey, I want 30 seconds. Find me some good ones inside of my transcript. And it does it. And some of them aren't good, but a lot of them are. And that's where I usually start now to get that cold open for my podcast. And the cool thing is that 30-second cold open is a great clip because you already have video to use. Yeah, already to use for a post that goes out on social. So I really, really like that feature. It is really, really cool because then I get those 30 seconds. I can get 5 of the 30-second clips, and then I'll go through them and say, okay, that really hooks people, and then I'll tighten it up, and then you can just copy that and paste it in the front of your podcast or your video, and it's done. It's really cool.
Super good. Okay, fam. So today we're talking with Jeff C about AI repurposing in general, but AI specifically because Jeff's on the mission with AI. So if you have questions about repurposing, you always know you need to repurpose, haven't started, or you started and you're just trying to get cooler with it, drop those questions in the area below. Anyway, my man Jeff C is here. So Chris came in and Chris said, Jeff rocks a cold open like Mr. Freeze. That's so good. That's very good, Chris. So listen, one of the things that I've often, thought about when it comes to the whole idea of AI repurposing is changing the clip up just a little bit for the various platforms. For instance, the behavior on YouTube is different from the behavior on Instagram, which is different from the behavior on TikTok. On TikTok, you almost need to start with that cold open, catchy thing. And like, let's just say we're going to, Jeff was going to ask me a question about like, would I ever consider moving to some other place before Japan? And my initial answer is, man, F that. You would start with, man, F that, then cut the clip and show the question and the answer. And you would just start with that craziness. That doesn't play as well on, say, YouTube. It definitely doesn't play on LinkedIn like that. You would start on LinkedIn, you would start it with Jeff asked the question, me answer the question. Straightforward, nothing crazy. How do you make that slightly stylistic difference without making it take a lot of time for people?
So the cool thing, once again, with Descript, and they just with this version 6 has made it super easy, is you can create templates. Now they have templates built in, right? And just like just like Opus Clips, just like everything else. I mean, I remember when Canva came out. Like when you would scroll through, you're like, oh, there's a Canva template. Oh, there's another Canva template. And so people would just copy and paste and not change things. So take those Descript templates, upload your own background, use your own fonts, use your own branding, and you can actually now, like I get a clip, like I do that 30 second, I trim it up or whatever. I can look at it and I can click one button and it will go and it'll put everything for my square graphics that you saw. You remember you said Twitter, I'm all over there. One of the things I like to do is have a question at the top that's kind of a hook. So people who are scrolling can see that, like it's answering a question like, how do you increase your live stream viewers? People are going to stop. Like, I want to have more live stream viewers. So I have that question at the top for my LinkedIn square post. I can click another button and it goes, and it just makes it exactly ready for a vertical video that I can put on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all that stuff. If you guys have not played with it, you do not understand how cool that is. You can click a button and it does this stuff, and you just have to, you may have to tweak some stuff, but once you have your template down, it's done. I mean, we have a progress bar that goes on those square graphics because I think it keeps people watching when they know the time investment doesn't take them like 5 minutes, like they know like it's going to be this long. And so seeing that, and I just have to adjust that for everyone, and it's really easy to do. Abby does it for me now. She's my daughter is working for me, and so she does all this
Abigail.
stuff.
That's my homie.
That's right. She is doing it all.
I don't know how she's the coolest kid because her dad, never mind. But Abby is legit
she
the
is
coolest
cool.
kid. I love Abby to death. She's the bomb. And I'm so excited we get to see her at camp.
She is going to be at camp. Yeah. But so, I mean, being able to click those and switch them up, seriously, super fast. It takes longer to post them probably to get all your descriptions and your titles than to actually create those clips now.
Oh, man, that's great. Okay, so I want to run something back real quick because, again, I've been hanging out with Mary Lou, and one of the best things that has come of being, hanging out with her all the time is she's like, you be assuming people know stuff that they don't know. And I'm like, man, they're supposed to know this. You've been doing this for like, if you're more than 10 episodes in, you should know this. And she's like, don't assume. So for anybody who's missing this, can you describe the hook and what it is and why it's important?
The hook is what gets people to stop. Like if you think about when you're scrolling through the feed, if it's not a cat video, it usually needs to have a hook. The cat is the hook, in other words, but it needs to be something that.
Maestro real quick. Paul is late.
That's right. Where's my cat? But it's like, top, I'm trying to think of a good hook, like top reasons not to use the Shure SM7B. Like don't use the SM7B is horrible. Would be a hook that would get like Chris Stone and Doc Brock all up in arms, right?
They would stop and argue. So I could curse their person out.
Right. Exactly. So you don't want to be spammy. It's not clickbaity, but you have to play the game, especially over on YouTube, of getting people to look and stop. And for me, a lot of times it's a question. After I've done my live show, I go through and because I ask certain questions. I mean, I ask questions like that's interesting to me and whatever. And when they answer it, a lot of times the hook for me for that clip will be that question. It'll be like, how can I get more live viewers on my stream? What do I need to do when I first, what equipment is you have to start a live video? I mean, that kind of stuff, those kind of things are hooks because one, they're answering questions and you're kind of leaving that open loop where it keeps people like, okay, I gotta watch it to find out because otherwise I don't know why the SM7B is so bad or why he doesn't like it or that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the hook. And it's a science. Like people study this stuff. I use there's this guy who I really like and his company is called Creator Hooks and he has Creator Hooks Pro where he's got this algorithm where you can enter your stuff and it will actually help you create hooks based on if you're a beginner, if you want to have authority, if you're trying to be kind of antagonistic. I mean, all these things that you can put in there and it'll help you spit out the best hook for your piece of content, which I think is amazing.
So here's the clip on X, and it says, "What is your biggest mistakes when trying to grow a community?" Boom, and there, look, just to show you how dope this is, the beard is mid chest. I have not quite Jeff, but working on Jeff length beard. That's how long ago this is. But here's why this is so dope to me, and I tease Jeff about it, but in the most loving way and mostly in the jealous way, because here's a clip that I know we must have recorded this joint. Looking at the background and everything, we must have recorded that like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he posted that like a couple days ago. The information is still valid. Nothing about the mistakes that people make in growing their community has changed. So when people hear Gary Vaynerchuk or, my homegirl Millie talk about you got to post 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day on various platforms, they think that they're making virgin posts. And that's not the case. You're going to put out maybe one virgin post, but then you're going to repurpose some of your evergreens. And people still comment on that thing. So it's not like you're just posting it for the heck of posting it. People will comment on it because I'll get a mention and I'll look at the mention and I'm like, man, that was a long time ago, but that information still holds up. So, man, listen.
And I post that stuff and you tease me that it comes up, but I mean, you're in a queue where it comes up every so often. And I have never, ever, in any platform I had somebody say, Jeff, you're posting too much. Nobody. And I've been doing this for a while. Like nobody says that. And the things that reposting your guests, like I've done with Doc, here's kind of some 2 things that it does for you. One, it lets you get great guests. Like they look at it and they say, oh, it's just not a one and done with Jeff. He's going to continue to put it out there. Like my name will be out there more. So they're really, it lets you get great guests and you can get even more guests because of that, because they're like, oh, I saw Doc on this. I mean, Doc's, he's in the same circles I am. I want to be on this show. And so people will see these repurposed content and want to be on your show. And so, and the other thing,
I have picked up subscribers or followers from those, and they're like, oh yeah, I caught you from, social media news live.
The bearded guy. Yeah.
It's funny. So it definitely does happen. And when we go to events, people pull up and be like, oh yeah, I saw you're talking about community. You're a community guy. And I'm like, I haven't done a talk about community in forever, but then I know that it came from you posting those clips, right? Yeah, completely important and can literally save you a lot of time. And when you're growing, this is a way for people to see that you beat it. Let's put this straight. I do not want to invest time, and I never say this, I never have the full last thought. This is just what your body does. I do not want to invest time in a creator who I think is dope, but I'm not going to see something from them later, right? Because all of us have found a creator that we're like, oh, this person is amazing. I really love their content. And then they ghost you. And you might even not know, you might not even remember right now that they ghosted you. But now that I brought it up, you're going to think about, oh, I haven't seen content from this person who I really like in a long time. So you keep checking back. You keep checking back. You keep checking back. People do that to you. You just don't know it because you don't have enough confidence in yourself. It's so dope. But people are checking back to see if you added anything new. If they come back 3 times and you ain't there still, you're done forever. There's no coming back. There's no apologizing. There's no like making a video. Sorry guys, I've been away for a little while. I'm back. Like it's not going to work. You have already wet that bed, for lack of a better, thing. So this is a good way. Yeah, what would you say?
I said one more thing I want to talk about just about those clips that I think is important is I do it because it makes me money too. It gets me clients, it gets me business. There's a whole thing I've argued with influencers where they say don't put the link in your posts, like put it in the whatever. I put my link in there. Maybe it hurts my reach, maybe it doesn't. All I know is because of those links, I make good money repurposing those clips. I just do. Every one of my posts, no matter what, has a purpose. Most of the time, it's my Ecamm affiliate, and that continues to run. All of those are little spider webs back, a little web going back to my landing page where people click on it, and I make money. And I'm offering a service, so I will until it drops to zero. I will continue to do it because it just works,
Because it
and that's what you have
works.
to think about too. Yeah, it just you have to test stuff, sure, but those clips are there for a reason. One, it gets me good guests, and two, it makes me money.
You know, it's funny. This industry is somewhat like chili, in the sense that everybody got a recipe, everybody got an opinion, everybody going to tell you what
Hmm.
makes it dope, everybody's going to tell you this secret, that secret, or whatever. But when you get down to the spice levels, if you go to Texas and you ask for spice level 3, it is not the same as spice level 3 in
All
Hawaii.
right.
Spice level 3 in
Uh-huh.
Hawaii is a breeze. It's good, but it's a breeze. Spice level 3 in Texas will whoop your ass. It will knock you
It will.
out. If you're like,
It's
this is a
rough.
3, and they're like, yeah, we go up to 10. No, bitch, this is 8. What is this? Because I did it. I
Right.
did it. I was in Dallas, and I went to, I forgot where the hell I went to. I ordered, I'm looking at how hot you want it. Oh, I'll take a 3. And I was like, holy God, what is this? So
Oh
you
gosh,
have to
yeah, yeah.
know that, and I tell you guys this all the time, you got to take the advice and you have to extrapolate it to yourself. There is no one can give you, the terminology is turnkey. No one can give you the turnkey platform that's going to work. It really doesn't exist. And there's people out there selling it, but that's just because people are dumb enough to buy it. You will always have to sprinkle your sauce. And like Rich said, he loves seeing Jeff's post he did from a couple months ago. One of the reasons why is it's early for me anyway. If I happen to catch Jeff's show live, yo, I had one of those old man, I got to get up in peace sessions and couldn't go back to sleep. And then he's talking to our buddy, the notorious IAG. And IAG says something dope. I'm half awake. I ain't had a coffee yet, whatever. But I was like, oh, that's good. And we back talking, we chatting in the chat. I was like, oh, this is good. And then the day happens. I go to do the live demo. Katie, Paul, and Caleb blow up something and start yelling at me, like whatever. By the time I get around to, I done forgot what that British dude said. 2 months later, the Jeff post comes through, and Notorious IAG said, oh, yes, I was supposed to go and check out this musical. Let me go get it. That's why it's dope, right? Because everybody, this is why I say, make the video you made 6 months ago again. Because the person who you really needed to see that might have missed it, and they'll catch it the second time. And you're just showing that it's such an important step because you're repeating it, right? So your
Right.
fitness dude is telling you about your carb intake on every video. He's not beating a broken record. He's telling you that because that's important to that situation. Don't ask me about that. I'm gonna eat ice cream. Fuck the dude.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's yeah. I don't know this frequency, but we try not to post the same person on the same week, same channel.
Smart.
Like we rotate it, and it takes a while to get there. I mean, you put it out there, and then like you can start filling in the gaps. But like if you're doing one a week, then get a couple months ahead, then do like 2 a week, and then get a couple. So just don't try to do too much at once, is what I would say.
All right, now, so people are going to ask this question, so I'm going to just go ahead and throw it out there. You said Descript. What are some of your other favorite tools in your quiver?
So I think, well, ChatGPT just for writing, uh, transcripts and even formatting things. It's just really great for some of that stuff. I love to ideate with ChatGPT. Like I have the voice thing where I just talk to it and it goes back and forth. I like that for like thinking about questions for the show. A lot of times I'll have it research. I did this for when I had Leslie Samuels on, And I said, go through his website and this is what I'm thinking about and help me write questions. And Leslie at the end of it was like, man, where did you find that out? Like, how did you know? And that was a great question. Like, as an interviewer, you always want to get like that person saying, nobody's ever asked me that before. And doing some of this research with ChatGPT allows you to kind of find some of those things that may be kind of deep cuts in their like bio or website. I like to do that. Some of the other things I really do, we kind of Opus Clips, I think, has gone uh it's really improved. Like I played with it the other day and it's doing really, really good. I think um that is, I mean, if you have a subscription, I would keep it and continue to use it. Just make it your own. Don't use the standard stuff. Put, your own kind of flair to it. They're getting really good. And some of the stuff they're able to do with B-roll and some other things are really cool. Something to take it to the next level that I like to do. I'm a big Mid-Journey fan. In fact, I'm going to be doing a talk
I've
about it
seen that.
at, yeah. So Abby and I use it all the time. And one of the things is that you can use Midjourney right now to create B-roll for some of your videos. Instead of, you can use a static image and just do a slow pan on it. Nothing excites me more as a creator is finally being able to take stuff that's in my head and instead of trying to figure out in Photoshop and Illustrator, you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted, is you can kind of see it and keep rolling until you get exactly what you want for that B-roll. Like it is amazing. And now I think you sent me that it was Kling AI. You can take your Midjourney clips and actually animate them. Like
Yeah.
get a 5-second clip from that. It's freaking amazing that you're
It's
able to
so
do that stuff.
incredible.
So don't be afraid to combine platforms, like use Descript and Opus Clips and come up with something new. I'm a big fan of mixing and mashing things up to try to do something different than everybody else is doing. So that's what I would say is something like that is taking, your skills with Midjourney or learning Midjourney and applying that to some of your content. Like if we're talking about the SM7B and we're talking about music, that instead of cutting to that standard clip that everybody uses from deposit photos or whatever, you create your own that has to do with music that cuts to that and then back. I mean, it's all original. So it's just, that's what I love to do with these new AI tools. So Midjourney, ChatGPT, I'm trying some of those other, Captivate um, is really good for getting some show notes that I've played with. So, and man, if you're gonna, I'll go back. So if you're gonna play with stuff and trying to figure out the best one for creating images and even testing out all the AI out there, I think Magi is the best bang for your buck. My pal Dustin Stout could put it together. Magi lets you play with all those image tools for one management. I mean, subscription fee. And then if you really want to dive into one or another, you can go into it. But I think the best bang for your buck is using that. It's really, really cool.
Magi. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to show you something. If you haven't had a chance to see, and when I first click this, it's going to be on Chat GPT, but I'm going to switch it to one of my new favoriteest apps. This is Mac Whisper. Mac Whisper will take, here, I'll just bring it if I can pull this up. It will generate your transcript, right? So you can give it an audio file from your desktop or a video file. You can give it new recordings, whatever, and it will actually pull up, a transcript from that file. So here it has the transcription. It'll bring up the segments, but I wanted to see if I can, don't stop transcribing. Actually, I'll just let it finish while it's doing that. Once it's done with the transcript, I actually have access to various AI models here on the side. So I'm pulling GPT 4.0 there, and then I can pull a Claude 3.5 Sonnet or Opus or whatever. It's all built in. Now, because I have Pro for ChatGPT and for Claude, I just give it my API key, and it goes and it uses the real deal. But directly on your Mac, not going back and forth with a browser per se, I can then step in here and give it a bunch of prompts. And currently you have like summarize, and you can have it like once you do the summary, you can have it improve the grammar and pronunciation on these things. You can split it into paragraphs, highlight key points, identify emotions. Identify emotions is dope because that tells you where to start making cuts for clips. Right? When your clip has a lot of emotion in it, that works really, really well. right? For turning that into clips. You can generate a FAQ. I believe answering questions is one of the fastest way to grow on any platform, regardless of your subject matter. If you are the person who are answering the questions, especially the ones that everybody's either afraid to ask or they just don't want to sound, oh, so no one wants to come up in the chat and be like, okay, Jeff, what's a hook? Because they hear us say it constantly. All the people, the me, the you, the Stephanie, the Ian, the Leslie, all the speakers at Leap or Camp or whatever, no one wants to roll up on us and ask us, what does giving value mean and what does delivering the hook mean, right? So if you look at frequently asked questions and you make videos just off the frequently asked questions, you're gravy, right? Brand new device comes out, Rabbit, and you're dumb enough to buy one. I say that. And if I made 10 videos just going over recovering the fact of this, all 10 of those videos would get lots of hits because everybody was curious about this device.
Right.
So things like that. Then you go down and you can do like statistics of it. You can do paraphrase the content. You can create a mind map, generate show notes, bullet points, whole 9 yards. All happen directly on your device. Like it legit is just right there and it's fantastic. All of this is here. It'll break it down into segments. You could even straight out the gate go ahead and export subribs or VTT. Those are types of files. Mm-hmm. But basically, if I was to go into AI and I was like to highlight the key points and just hit submit, it would basically go to Claude and find all of the key elements about this particular show and spit it out right on the device. So this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I think it's relatively cheap, but I like having it on the device. And I use the Chat GPT desktop model so much now. It's been kind of a godsend. I love having it on there. And like you said, the Chat GPT that's using your phone and is having conversations with it, it's so incredible. So incredible.
So there's another tool that I really like, and I use that with that Creator Hooks Pro platform to get me hooks and titles to especially on YouTube, the videos. It's a GPT inside of ChatGPT. It's called Glibetry. I think it's pronounced. I mean, it's really weird, but it's Glibetry. And what it does, it allows me to, like, one of the things I think creators struggle with is like, okay, how do I make that abstract for a background for an image? Like, how do I convey, like, so I was doing one, it was the power of sound. Like I had Jody Kringle, who is a voice artist on my show. She's got an incredible voice. You've heard her in all these commercials before. But I was like, how do I make that as an abstract image that I can put Jody in front of in my title for a YouTube thumbnail? And I was like, how do I do that? So I went to this Glibetry and I said, hey, I need an abstract idea for creating portraying the power of sound. And what it does is it takes that, it makes a better prompt, and it gives you 5 different versions of it in different types of styles. And the cool thing is it also gives you a Midjourney prompt that you can copy and paste over to Midjourney. So a lot of times I'll see something that's made in DALL-E, which is ChatGPT's image generator, and I can kind of tell it's made in DALL-E. I really like Midjourney, so I'll take that and I'll put it over into Midjourney and get a brand new prompt. So I kind of can get 2 for the price of 1. So I really like using that tool. It's really, really handy.
All right, so there's Glibetry Art Designer, and then there's actually 3 or 4, but you want the one that says Art Designer.
Yeah.
They have a couple different ones. This is cool. This is super cool.
Yeah, and so getting those 5 kind of helps you narrow down because it'll give you enough variations between those. I think it's the 5 images it creates that you get an idea, and it kind of helps spur you on. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say, and having that Midjourney prompt that you can plug in, which, by the way, Midjourney has right now, they're running a special where you can get like 26 free prompts, and they have it. It's now based on their website. You don't have to go to Discord, which is pretty cool.
Oh, man, I love Midjourney. So let me hit you up with another cool one. This is hot right now because you want to get in before they change the price. Let me see if they still have it. Right. I want to make sure. It is okay. So he has it at $14.99. So they just changed the price. It was you could just pay $100 for the first year, and just go to town. But basically, what this guy will do, this is called The Wordsmith, and it's actually being put together by ConvertKit. You take your video, you throw it at this guy from YouTube. I could take this video that we do today, I'll throw it here, and it will generate me a email. And because it's basically built by ConvertKit, well, a company built it for ConvertKit, it's going to be a good email. And for our buddies like Paul, who's all about the email, or Liz, this is really incredible. You just make your video, and once your video is done, it will generate the email for you. So the Wordsmith is the name of the app, and it is cool. Wait, this doesn't seem right.
That is cool. I haven't played with that.
This doesn't seem right. Let me try it. Let me look for a different one. The problem is they picked a name that a bunch of other people use. So I don't think that's the right one. I did this. I put this in the chat last week, and it guaranteed messed me up. But let me pull it from my email so I get you the exact right one. Because, it should be cheaper than that. Anyway, it's super cool. And for right now, because they're in beta, they're doing like $100 for the year. But it is quite incredible. It is quite incredible. The words.
Yeah, I want to check that one out.
And it's made for ConvertKit by ConvertKit. They have a company that they're working with, but man, it's quite incredible. Quite incredible. And so it's definitely worth a look. I'll make sure I send you the exact right link. I'll chat it over to you. But yeah, super good stuff.
Yeah.
There was another.
So I would say.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, all this stuff is good. Remember, it's a tool. And as soon as you get the temptation to copy and paste, even with this Wordsmith email thing, which I'm like, oh gosh, that would save a touch of time. You remember, everybody is going to take the easy and is wanting to press the easy button. What can you do that will make you different from everybody else pressing the easy button? Because it's going to, like we talked about, the content vomit that's coming. What can you do? Can you be more humorous than other people's emails? Can you give a great fact and then expand on that? Use it as a stepping off point for your creativity, because you want to be ahead of everybody else. You don't want to be the same. The sea of sameness is going to be a real thing with all this AI stuff. And I love Midjourney. It's really cool. And what's been great about it has been it's kind of hard to use to figure out the first time. And now they've got a web-based editor. So what am I going to do to make my images go up to the next level? Because everybody else is kind of going to be able to have the advantage that I had because I took the time to learn it, right? So you always have to keep improving your skills. You always have to keep going up, learning new things, watching shows like Docs to get advice from the leaders, and then combine that all together into your own style and way of doing things and your repurposing as well. And that's what's going to keep you ahead of everybody else.
That's actually smart, because you're right. One of the things, Strict and Tanya were talking about being the early adopter this week on Strict Show. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, sort of come up was, well, I'm trying these things, I don't know if it's going to work or whatever. Sometimes it's best to jump in when nobody else is there, because you're getting ahead of it before it becomes popular, but you end up knowing how to use it when everybody jumps in. By the time everybody decides to become part of the party, you're already there. So you end up having a, first user advantage? That's what they still call it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put this back in the day. Whenever you were ask somebody about a sound card for a PC, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but computers didn't used to make noise, right? You had
Sound blasters. I remember the sound.
Everybody would talk about Sound Blaster. Why? They weren't necessarily first to market. They were first to market. Okay? So in other words, there was cards that existed before Sound Blaster, but Creative Labs put all of their money on marketing. And the sound card kind of sort of semi-sucked. There were better sound cards in the game. Turtle Beach sound card would run circles around the Sound Blaster. Yeah. Turtle Beach was a bunch of nerds who focused on audio, which was dope. The whole reason why half the planet still uses a Yeti is because they were first to market. They said, we will design something specifically for podcasters and YouTubers when nobody in the industry said, let me make a mic specifically for podcasters and YouTubers. They all thought we were just a small segment to be ignored. So everybody was continuing to build mics for radio, TV, studio, whatever. The reason why Yeti is so prolific is Logitech goes, we make mics, everybody has a mic. Pretty soon with Skype, everybody needs a microphone. So let's go find a struggling mic company, Blue. Let's buy their technology and fire the engineers. Let's take it from a $250 well-built steel mic and turn it into a plastic piece of crap that costs us $15 to make, but we sell it for $150. Never let a single soul know this Logitech and sell the living crap out of it. And that's why so many people have. If you have a metal Yeti, it's gangster. If you have a plastic Yeti, it's Logitech.
I still have. I have a metal Yeti Pro, the XLR one. The
XLR one, the black one.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the first mover advantage. Very important, but I think it's harder to do. But there is also a way, like what Apple does, is they wait until they see what's happening, and then they go and do it better, right? Like, and so it's harder. It's harder to do if you're a content creator. But there is some people who have actually, like, they kind of wait, they see what's going. Oh, okay, shorts. That's a thing. I'm going to do the best shorts ever, right? Like you think about Zach King. He was making amazing videos before, but then he saw shorts. He's like, you know what? I can take my content and shorten it up or do special things just for shorts, and I can kill it. And he does. Like, his stuff is still funny, is still amazing, and I mean, he knows how to look, and he wasn't the first mover on that.
Nope.
And then he was like, okay, I'm going to do some shorts. And he did it. And
he
worked.
figured it out.
So,
he figured it out really, really well.
Yeah.
So you're right. Being able to again.
Don't be mediocre, though. Yeah.
Oh, God. Mediocrity is the curse. And you know that back in the day, right? And still to this day, some people, the lay people, are still like, I don't know about this AI thing. I don't know about this AI thing. It's going to take these jobs and whatever. Like, AI will only take the jobs of the mediocre people. Like, the people that are building and growing and can think for themselves and are creative. And so you're just going to enhance your job. And my favorite line I ever heard, I think it actually started on your show, believe it or not. I heard somebody say, the AI won't take your job, but somebody using AI will.
Yeah.
That's the boom, brilliant freaking line. Okay, so I did put the link in for Wordsmith, and it's the wordsmith.app. And it is the most incredible tool ever because, right now, $100 to get in while it's in beta. Please jump in before it gets expensive. But it will literally take your video and just create it into an email, and it's phenomenal. You got to make a bunch of tweaks. They're not a lot, though. It's going to take you 5-10 minutes to generate them tweaks, but you are gravy and ready to send an email.
So one thing I wanted to say real quick is, like, I didn't mean that you had to be the quality of, Zach King. Like, I mean, you just have to be better than the content vomit that's out there. And I think I had Eden Lou on the show, and she was talking to me, don't do 1% better than you did before. That's all you have to do. Like, you don't freak out and try to, I got to be Zach King if I want to stand out. No, you just have to be better than your competition who doesn't care and is just pressing the easy button. You just have to be 1% better.
Dude, look at this.
So
there was a whole bunch of people moderating before we ever heard of a Paul Duncan. But Paul was like, I'm gonna make this my thing. I'm not just gonna kick people out for saying dumb stuff. I'm gonna find a way to make it more advantageous and be like what would you call it? Like, oh my God, why my brain is stuck? You go to the hotel, there's a dude in the front that just finds things and makes it all good for you. A concierge.
Oh, the concierge. Yeah.
Paul was like, I'm going to be the concierge of moderators. I don't want it to just throw people out, which Paul would throw your ass out. Let's not get it twisted. Paul enjoyed, for some reason, Paul and Daniel actually enjoy that part. Everybody thinks Paul and Daniel are nice. Used to see them in Slack. Oh, so-and-so came to Facebook. They thought they was cool. Take this. Pie out. We're like, damn, son. We didn't even get a chance to, like, yell at them a little bit or, like, and see if they okay. Then we got to send an ambulance and, like, the whole 9 yards. So don't believe Paul and Daniel's nice face. They would throw your ass out. But it was also let's do some polls in a chat, right? And give the poll back to Ecamm when it's done. Katie, these many people have been using Ecamm for this long. These many people have been using Ecamm for this long. Let me curate all of the words that people ain't supposed to say. Let me make this into a list. And let me put this list available so that people can purchase it and download it. So even if you don't have a moderator, this will at least stop. Hot girls 18, come and look at me, right? Because in the beginning, that's all I seen in my chat. They would always come up. Now, knock on wood, we barely see them, right? So that level of sort of curating and things like that. Take what's out there and be like, I can make this a little different. We used to, in the old school days, we used to call it a VAR, right? I used to sell computer equipment. People could buy this crap from Computer Shopper, right? But they would come to me as a VAR because I was a value added reseller. I wasn't just going to sell you a sound blaster. I was going to come and tweak all the settings and set it up perfectly with your little studio and set up your recording space and the whole 9 yards. What Loria does for building a studio, that's what a value added reseller is. If you're doing whatever Jeff and I are doing, find a way to add your intrinsic value to that, and that's what makes it different. That is the differentiator. Bingo.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Value added mod. Shut up, Paul. Look at me funny. That's so good. That's so good. All right. So listen, I guess give you an opportunity to give a fire quick hit tip, just something that drives people home, and tell us how we can see more. That's funny what I just said. See more.
I know. Yeah. So one, be 1% better each time. Follow people like Doc and get inspiration. Don't copy them, but see how they're doing. And then you work hard. Everybody works so hard to create content. Don't just let it die. Repurpose it. Use AIs as a tool to get some content out there easily. Tweak it so it's yours, and then push it out there, and then start building a process where you continually feed that constant monster, but do it in an easy way with using those AI tools. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. You can find me at jeffc.com. That's JEFF, S as in Sam, IEH, I before E, especially in C. That's what my mama taught me to say it. And I'd love for you guys to join my newsletter. It's some of the best stuff that I've got going out there. jeffc.com/news. And that's where you can sign up for that. So I'd love to see you there.
Let me put you guys on the Jeff's website. Here's the thing that is just kind of, I don't know why I never brought it up before. What is the origin of C spelled like that?
Yeah, I think it's German, and I think it means something like wagon builder. I don't know. It should be like some stands with fist. I don't know what it means, but it's we'll say it's wagon builder.
Listen, so yeah, you can come here, you can jump on it, you can send a message, you can get out with Jeff, you can see what he's doing, see some of the last couple of great shows on there. Dude, trust me, the show is fantastic. It just comes on at the most ungodly hour, but occasionally I am up because Katie and Caleb and Paul got me doing something crazy that requires me to wake up that early. But yeah, definitely go and check it out and see what Jeff has to show you. Literally,
and Paul's been on the show too. Paul's been on there.
Being just so good at it that you have a reputation that people just kind of know. And I got to give you flowers. No matter what we say, no matter what we ask for, we're like, Jeff, we got an idea. You never come with any crazy pushback. You're like, always, yeah. And then we'll figure it out. Right? This is something that I've been fighting with my niece with recently. She starts every sentence with no. And then she finds out what it is. And it's, oh, no, I'm like, no, too late. You said no. She's like, no, I was just kidding. I was like, be willing to start with yes. You can always change your mind. Right? But I feel like starting with no is like admitting to defeat before you even start. Saying that I don't like this before you test it out. Just be willing to try, bro. You got to legit be willing to try. So before I let you go, Mary Lou and I are on this thing. I made it up in my head the other day. And I think this could probably work for the repurposing crew. So I'm interested in your spin on this. I am a pour over guy, right? I also have this, the exact same fancy machine we have in the Ecamm office. So even if I turn that
Right.
machine on and press the button, wait for it to do all of its little magic and spit out a cup of coffee, it's roughly a minute, right? While I'm imbibing said cup of coffee, because it starts out like rip your face off hot, is a minimum of 10 minutes. I'm
Right.
on this thing for September. We're going to do what's called a coffee post. Every cup, whether Starbucks made it or you did, you have got to create a post before the bottom of that cup.
Of
And
the cup or any a post of anything?
anything.
Okay.
Because people swear to God they don't have time to do the social media. And
Oh,
reality is, for the most part, when you're having that first cup in the morning, especially, and me and Jeff, we're the Nappuccino fam. Jeff came up with the word, but
Yeah,
I told Jeff this when we were in Disney. I was like, fam, I like to get my afternoon cup, drink it, go straight to my little big man chair, kick back, close my eyes for exactly 20 to 26 minutes, and by the time I wake up, the coffee has kicked in.
perfect.
And Jeff said, I call that
Yeah.
the Nappuccino. And I was like, dude, that's my word now. It's a Nappuccino.
Yeah,
So-
it's the thing, man.
Paul said, I'm quick at that because I don't got to comb my hair. But if you could make a content like in the time it takes you to imbibe that morning beverage or lunchtime beverage, you have eliminated at least 31 posts a month because you're going to do that every day. For most of us that are into this, it's habitual. We won't admit that, but it is. And it is
Right.
the perfect time, because you normally don't do anything else while you're enjoying that, to sit with your phone in your hand and create a post. What we do is have this in our hand and scroll. So instead of fever scrolling, create a post. We can
That's
call
perfect.
it coffee post.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
And
So,
and I
I'd
think
be
one of
interested in
the
your
reasons
take on it.
people don't do. Yeah, I think and here's a little hack for that. So, if you do a show like Doc and I do, where we interview somebody, I think a lot of the times that people struggle with doing a social post a day or whatever, like the coffee post, is that they don't want to seem salesy and they don't want to make it about them. Make it about your guest. Like do a clip of your guest. That's what I do. From you hardly ever see me. You may see me ask a question in the clips, but that's about it because I make it about the other person. So if
So
you
true.
struggle with that, like you struggle about talking about yourself, make it about the other person. It becomes a lot easier, and it also gives you a lot more value because those people see that and they're like, oh, I want to be on that show again or whatever, like we talked about.
You know the hardest thing about the salesy thing to me, though? All the people who don't want to be that is because they see somebody who irritates the crap out of them that's very salesy. But you know what the funny thing
right.
about all of those people who irritate the crap out of you who are very salesy? They're all killing it because they're very salesy.
They're making
works.
money, or they're
People will talk a lot of smack about how much they hate salesy people, but somehow the salesy person is always killing it because if it resonates with you, you're going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you need those new Adidas and the person at the Adidas store comes on strong, you're still buying this shoe. It doesn't matter whether the person was
But there's-
salesy or not.
I think there's a difference though, because I think the reason that I make sales is because I love Ecamm and it comes through not salesy. Like I
No,
always say, like I was using Ecamm before I was that. And like you make these covers now because you love these microphones and you want to have individual stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's not salesy because that's who you are. But if I started hawking everything, under the sun and trying to get people to buy it, then it'd be disingenuous.
It
If
gets
I'm
a
like,
little
yeah, hey,
old
this
real
pen,
quick.
this Ecamm pen is great. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think it's
Yeah.
the way you do it and
It's a
to be
balance.
honest and authentic about it. Yeah.
There you go. All right, fam. Thank you, Jeff. Way too long coming. I'm gonna bombard
Thank you,
your show
man.
sooner or later. Once these pops is, I'm putting in the order on Saturday, people. Like I just checked as I was
yeah.
going to the screen to find the answer to the wordsmith.app, and it wasn't .com. I just got an email from my people, so they are ready for the order. I figured out how to use ChatGPT to solve part of the problem. I'm going to be hitting a bunch of you people up for your phone numbers because we don't have your phone number in the order, and I need that in order to ship it out. And then, we're good to go. And then Jeff texted me your address. I probably have it somewhere, but I can steal it from Ecamm, but I prefer not to break into the corporate system. So just text me your address.
It's
I
always
can't
good.
wait. Can't wait to
It's
see you
always
at
good.
camp, brother. I might not shave my
gonna be
face
awesome,
until
man.
camp so I can catch up a little bit.
There you go. There you go. That'd be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Family,
It's going to be so much fun.
you know what it is. We'll be back recording Creators Unstuck on Saturday with Mary Lou and I. So make sure you're here. Same bad time, same bad channel. And thank you to Mr. Paul for hanging out in the Zoom and keeping us on point. So I will see you guys. I'm going to take my cold and my sick ass back to bed and hopefully shake this off in the next day or two because it's legit getting on my nerves. It's getting on my nerves. I can't stand being sick. It's irritating. Love you, people. Peace out. A-Town Stump.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine.